All right. Welcome to our On Fire Empire team call. Today's July 11th, 2017. And tonight, we're going to be talking about using free groups to build your business. We have a lot of people gone tonight. This is the start of Summit. For those of you who are wondering why some of us are in New Orleans right now, or not us, I'm at home. But we have our annual Beachbody Conference, which is a lot of fun. You learn a lot of things. And if you guys can be there next year, I highly, highly encourage you to be there. If I was not 34 weeks pregnant, I would be there too. But not only do you learn a lot, but it's a lot of fun to be around, just completely surrounded by such amazing people. So I know that they will release the dates for next year while they are there in New Orleans. I saw somewhere that it's going to be in June, which totally screws with my summer schedule, but that's okay. I'm going to make it work. But anyway, okay. I'm going to go straight to what we are talking about. And it is using free groups to help build your business, build your market. I'm just curious. Wow, I don't know how to talk tonight. Curious if anybody on here has done a free group before, has run one. No show of hands. That's okay. I am just over 2 years into this business, and it is not something I've done consistently, although I wish I would, because they make total sense. But I did them a lot in the beginning of my coaching career, and I'm picking them back up because totally see the value in it and why you should do it. So the reason why running free groups is so important is because it turns that cold market. So if you've heard us talk about like a warm market or a hot market, cold market, what that is hot market is like your family and your close friends. Your warm market are like your acquaintances, your Facebook friends, that you went to high school with, who you occasionally comment on their stuff, or, the people you go to church with, that type of people. And then cold market are people that you totally don't know, that maybe follow you on social media, new people that you meet. And so free groups turn that cold market into more of a warm market to work with. So during these groups, you're building that trust. You're letting them know a little bit more about you outside of what you post just on your social media, and you're providing value. That is what free groups are about, is just giving them value. Now, there's no set rules. There's no way to do it right or wrong running a free group. I strongly suggest you pick something that you enjoy. So if you don't really like clean eating, don't do a clean eating group. I'm being serious, and I'm going to be honest. Clean eating and meal planning is not my forte, and my groups where I do clean eating and meal planning don't do as well because I don't enjoy it. A lot of times I do it for my own accountability, and so it goes okay. But I'm going to be honest, I did a free group last week, and I don't know if anybody's in there. If anybody's in there, do not use that as an example for how to run a free group, because I totally dropped the ball on it. I don't know if it was because I started on a Wednesday and it was after a holiday. I don't know what it was, but totally dropped the ball. And I got on there today, went live, and I was like, I want to apologize. This is not what I intended this group to be. And so we're doing like a redo next week. And that's okay. I felt really bad, and I felt really silly, going in there and telling them, what a screw up I was last week. But I think, just being myself, and telling them, hey, I'm not perfect, and I didn't get my groceries bought, and I'm sorry that this group didn't have any value, but I want to make up for it. I think they appreciated it. So I'm going to, instead of do a full out breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack, meal plan, this is what we're going to eat, we're doing mason jar lunches. And that's what we're focusing on. And for me, right now being pregnant, I feel like I'm using that kind of as an excuse, but like, you guys, like, it doesn't always sound good what's on my meal plan whenever it happens. And I can't, it's rough, right? I mean, struggle is real. So I thought, okay, I can do lunches. I'm a busy mom. Having lunch prepared is going to be easy for me. I can eat something I don't like for lunch, you know, if that doesn't sound good that day. And I feel like that could be add value to those people in that group, because a lot of them are busy moms or they're busy students. They work full time. And so lunchtime tends to be one of those times that everybody kind of struggles. Like, you either run and go grab something or you skip it, whatever it is. So that's what I'm doing. And, but it does not have to be clean eating. It can be a workout related one. So you could pull like a workout out off of Pinterest, like active maternity. I totally should. Last month I did do a clean eating. What did I do? I can't even remember. Oh, I totally just used like my meal plan that I would typically do, which is super boring. It's nothing exciting. I eat the same things for breakfast and lunch almost every day, and usually have 2 key meals for dinner. And like, I repeat them, like, it's boring, but that's what I do. And that's what's worked for me. And I shared that with them. Yes. And within that group, it was called Guns and Buns, because obviously I can't do like the core workout right now. I mean, that attracts a lot of people, like doing, you know, a 5-day ab ripper, whatever, but I'm not going to do that right now. That's totally inappropriate. But so I did a Guns and Buns, and we did a squat, and we did squats and push-ups and planks and like tricep dips. And I pulled it off Pinterest. And we did the 5 days, and I gave them, you know, hey, here's, if you want to finish the 30 days of the challenge, the Guns and Buns challenge, here's this. And it went well for me because it's what I did. Like I said, I didn't, my mason jar complete meal plan was really cool, but it's not what I do. And so I struggled with it. So I encourage you guys to do something that you like. I have a coach, I don't know if she's on here, and I'm sure she's not, she's in Rome, but she is like the queen of packing and carry-ons. Like, she's in Rome for 10 days and packed in a carry-on. And I told her, I'm like, this is the most brilliant free group you could run. Like, how cool would that be to do a 5-day group of different packing tips every day? I mean, who can't use packing tips? Everybody can use packing tips. Leslie, who is in New Orleans right now, she runs like an ongoing free group for co-parenting, because that's something she's super passionate about and something that she does every day. She lives it. She's figured out things that work. She's figured out things that don't work. And it's just, she's created that community. So it doesn't have to be fitness related. It doesn't have to be clean eating related. And honestly, I feel like sometimes those get a little bit overdone. But they do attract people. So the key is to figure out something that you're interested in. Maybe it is, like I know Tracy is trying out like the intermittent fasting, which we should talk about that. I tried it. I did it a little bit before I got pregnant, and I enjoyed it. You could totally do a free group and talk about intermittent fasting and the research you found, and just share as you learn. It doesn't have to be something that you are a professional at, that you know all the answers. Like, hello, I mean, we don't know all the answers. We're just learning it right along with them. So that is the most important part, is making sure it's something that you're going to enjoy, something that you are going to want to give value about to other people. So you can run it for as long as you want. In my opinion, my 5 to 7 day free groups do better than doing a long free group. And honestly, I feel like if I'm going to spend a longer time with you, you should be making an investment into yourself, right? And that's where we move over into like our 30-day challenge group or ongoing challenge group, whatever you want to call it these days. But I know some coaches are very successful with like a 14-day free group and doing like the 14-day free BOD membership. There is a coach in this social media group that I'm in that did a Sean Week free group and had amazing success with it, that she ended up extending it for another week and they did another round. And, that's really cool too. So you've got to kind of play with it. The length of it for you. The way that I would go about, planning for it and getting the word out there, you want to look at your calendar. And typically, the people that do free groups consistently will do one a month. And, you want to look at your calendar and see what holidays are coming up. One of my most successful free groups was like a sugar detox after Halloween. We did like a crock pot group before Thanksgiving, and kind of gearing it either before or after holidays. And then what I like to do is create an event. So if you have a like page, I would do it on your like page, and you can actually make your personal profile like a second admin of it. But create the event and say, it's happening July 5th through July 11th or whatever it is, and give a description. And there you can actually invite your friends. And I know some people get a little leery of this because it feels like you're adding them to a group. I never, ever add people to a group without their consent. Now, inviting them to an event is something completely different. So, I'll say, be sure and click going if you are interested. And once they click going, I will message them and I will tell them, hey, I'm adding you to our group. We're getting started in a couple days. I've got the recipes ready or whatever it is. But I like to use the event because I can go into that page and post specifically about what's going to be happening in that group. And what happens, it actually shows up in regular news feeds. So even people that aren't going to the event, people that like your page or people that are friends with you, it'll start showing up in their news feeds too. They can invite their friends. Also post about it on social media. One of my favorite ways to advertise a free event is saying, hey, if I ran a 5-day clean eating group here on Facebook, who would be interested in joining me? And all the people that are like, ooh, me, ooh, yeah, I would be interested. Game on. Let's add them to the group. Just a simple question. It doesn't have to be a super detailed post. I mean, you can, I usually do that first, like a week or so before, and then I'll do a more detailed post. Hey, we've got a big group, together to do some clean eating, to work on our buns and guns, whatever it is. It's not too late to join us. This is what you're going to get, type of thing. But really, just be not casual about it, but talk about it. Hey, this is one of my recipes that we're going to be trying out next week. It's toddler approved. I'm super excited to see what dinner is going to look like, whatever it is. Start sharing about it. Get people interested through your social media. And then you create a group. And typically what I do is I try to add everybody that says that they're interested or that they're going 2 to 3 days before the official start date. And during those days, we'll do like an introduction day. And I'll talk a little bit about like what we're going to do. Or so like my last one, clean eating, and what is clean eating? What does it mean? What is this, what to expect out of this group? So I went live, and I told them, hey, listen, I'm terrible at this. I'm just going to be honest. And so this is all about simplicity. And I'm keeping it simple. That's why the breakfasts are all the same. That's why the lunches are all the same. And then we're going to change it up a little bit for dinner. And told them, this is your group too. I want you guys to post. I want to see your pictures. I want to know if you like the recipes, or if you find something on Pinterest that would be good. Let's share recipes. Just start adding value. Just start talking to them. Start asking questions. Who in here eats clean regularly? Who, just questions to get people starting to talk, get people to start engaging, talk about your grocery trip, and things like that. And I'm talking more or less, we're going to be talking about clean eating group because that's on my mind right now. But obviously it needs to go around whatever group you decide to run. But it's all about adding value and making them feel like they are part of the family. And then, you get started in the group, and in a good group, like I said, if you're a part of mine that was supposed to be going last week, don't look at that. But you should be adding value in there heartburn is so bad, a couple times a day, posting your lunch or dinner, or asking what they think about the workout that you gave them, or whatever it is. It should not, while these groups should start gearing people towards wanting to do a longer group with you, it should not be a spam of Beachbody and Shakeology and whatnot. Unless you're running a Shakeology group, that's fine. On most of mine, if I do a clean eating group, I will, in the meal plan, I'll put Shakeology for a snack, and I'll talk about it a little bit. I'll say, hey, this is what I have every morning for my snack. If you don't have Shakeology, that's totally cool. Pick a snack from this approved snack list. But I'm not going to necessarily focus on it at that time. I'll post about it. My morning snack tastes like a Reese's, whatever. But really, in these groups, I try to just focus on whatever the goal is, whether it's clean eating, detoxing from sugar, the buns and guns workout, whatever it is. And then hopefully by the end, people are like, wait, we don't want this to end, or what do we do next? And that's kind of when you say, your next step would be to, continue with this meal plan. And a lot of times I say, I make a meal plan usually in the first bracket, if you're looking at 21-day fix. And so typically I'll say, hey, this all came from the 21-day fix eating plan. This is not sustainable for a lot of you. This is very low calorie, meal plan that should not be followed more than like a week at a time. But if you're interested, if you are feeling better, if you're feeling results, then let's get you plugged in into a longer group. Let's chat about it. Or talking about Shakeology, or saying, my next free group next month, I'm thinking of doing this. I would love to see you there too. But really it's just about building that relationship. And I think when I did my free groups in the past, I kind of had this expectation that at the end, they would all be signing up with challenge packs, and I would, have all these new customers. And the reality is that that's not going to happen. Honestly, you may not have any challenge pack customers come from your free group right away, and that's okay. If you go into it with the goal of adding value, building trust with some of those cold market people, bringing them into your warm market, then eventually they will become customers, or challengers or coaches on your team. one of my most successful free groups, I had 0 people sign up, at the end of the free group. I had a couple people interested in Shakeology, but nobody signed up. And then within probably 3 to 4 months, I had 5 people from that free group become customers or coaches. And so, you may be thinking, oh my gosh, like seriously, but that's part of what we do, right? That's part of who we are as a team and who we are as Beachbody, is building those relationships. And that's where these free groups really come into play, because you can, talk so much more openly in a group than sometimes you can on social media, and they feel like they get to know you. And then they come back the next month and they're like, oh, I really like that group. And hey, I lost 3 pounds this time, or whatever it is. And they eventually are like, okay, I'm going to give it a try. She keeps talking about it. I'm going to give it a try. So I used to kind of not shove, but I used to talk a ton about Shakeology, and I used to talk about a ton about Beachbody in these free groups, and I don't anymore. I mean, I still do, because I'm very proud of, our products we have, and they're absolutely the reason that I had the results I had and that I feel the way I do. But in that moment, in that free group, those people aren't wanting to be sold to. They just want some tips. They want, to feel better, whatever it is. So that is kind of the gist of running a free group, why you do it, how you do it. And everybody does them differently. You're going to kind of figure out your groove. I encourage you guys to run at least 3, do it for 3 months. And, before you decide it's not for you, because some people don't enjoy running free groups, and it's not lucrative for their business. It takes up too much time, whatever it is, and that's fine. But I'm glad I didn't give up after the first one. So I encourage you guys to run at least 3. It's a great opportunity to, kind of branch out as a coach and run your first group by yourself. No one cares. It's free. No one cares if you screw up and you don't even friggin' run the group. I mean, that's pretty much what I did last week. So, I mean, you can totally screw up and it's okay. And like I said, there's no right or wrong. So who's to say I screwed up? Who's to say this wasn't all part of the plan? But I don't know. Do you guys have questions about how to run them or why? Or I'm sure I just kind of rambled, but no. Okay. So I think just the most important thing is to make sure it is something that you're going to enjoy doing, something that you're going to want to be in the group participating during that week or however long you decide to run it. And, do it with some other coaches from the team. You don't have to do it by yourself. You guys can run it together. And there's just so many different things you can do with it. And run it the way you want to run it. And, I know when you're talking to yourself in free groups, I know I was doing that last week and I totally get why, but I put up a post and I was like, Bueller, anybody want to talk to me? But, how about a 5-day Shakeology group? Yes, I have done a couple of 5-day Shakeology groups, and they are successful. And I know there's a lot of coaches within our team and in our upline who built their businesses this way. They're great if you have like a spouse account and you're getting Shakeology packets through it. It's a great way to earn that money back, to have people be able to try it before they commit. And we actually do have like an outline I think, for a Shakeology group, which is great. And you can incorporate it with your clean eating group. So sometimes a couple of times I've run a clean eating group and I've offered Shakeology. And I say, it's $25 if you're local, $30 if I have to ship it, and you'll have your morning snack taken care of, or lunch, or whatever it is. So those are great groups to run as well. But it does, since there is cost involved, sometimes people are a little bit leery to do it. And so I think it's one of those things that I wouldn't do it every month. I would more or less do a free group a couple months and then maybe do a Shakeology group with my group I've been doing and say, hey, let's throw in some Shakeology. Who wants to join me this week with, my healthiest meal of my day, or whatever it is. But like I said, there are several coaches who have been very, very successful running Shakeology groups, and those customers turning into 30-day customers and coaches. I'm pretty sure Carrie Legault started in a 5-day Shakeology group, and obviously she has done very well. Hey, Summer. We are just kind of wrapping up on free groups here. Are you going to Summit? No, decided not to. So I don't know if that answered your question about the Shakeology group. And we'll, we tend to try to run a Shakeology group as a team once a month, where at least one person's running one, so you can always hop into one. But like I said, myself personally, I will just do it kind of as an option rather than, hey, if you're going to be a part of this group, you have to use Shakeology, because I truly want it to be a free group. So that is just a little spiel. I could go on and on because, like I said, there's so many different things you can do with a free group and so many different ways to run it. And we, on my social media training that I'm doing there, I think I listened to like 7 different coaches talk about their free groups, and they were all completely different and all very successful. And, one of them talked about when she did like a 21-day free group, which, like I told you guys, I stick to about 5 to 7 days. But what's cool that she did is that those that were commenting and engaging, she would reach out to them and say, hey, would you mind kind of helping me lead this group a little bit, kind of like we do in our big challenge group, and already giving them that sense of leadership and even just a free group, and how those people then kind of turned into long-term customers or coaches. There's some people that do free groups, and their focus is on talking about the coaching opportunity. They'll do like a workout free group, but they'll also do a topic on what it means to be a coach every day. So it's kind of like a coaching sneak peek, except a free workout group. So like I said, like, honestly, there's no wrong way to run it. There's no wrong theme to do, as long as it's something you like. So, Summer, I don't know if you have any questions specifically about a free group, but that's kind of what we were getting to. And if you ask a question I already answered, I can tell you. I'm going
to unmute myself. I'm actually about to run a free group. Okay. Sorry.
No, you're good.
I'm thinking about doing like a clean eating group, and in the past I had done one as a Shakeology group, but I actually labeled it as a Shakeology group, and this time I'm not going to. I'm going to give them the option to do that, and that's why, like, I'm glad you said that, because I think it's a great idea to give people an option so it's really free.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. And, you know, I talked about, you know, creating an event for your free group where you can invite people. And within that group, in the past, I've said, when you see the meal plan, you will see Shakeology listed as the morning snack or as breakfast or whatever, and say, that's what I'm going to be having. If you are interested in trying it for this week too, to get your optimal results, contact me. I've got packets. We can get you all set up. If you're not ready for that, pick out a snack from the approved snack list where it's a little bit more, you have, like you said, like there's that option. Would love for you to try it, but there are alternatives that you can have. So yeah. And I was telling them I've done Shakeology groups in the past, and they just don't do as well for me. And some people have been very successful with them. But typically if I do a clean eating group and I do offer Shakeology, you know, there sometimes be a few people that want to try it. Sometimes there won't be, and that's okay. But it tends to I get more interest. People participate more because they don't feel like I'm trying to just make money off of them. You know, how people just automatically put up their guards. But yeah, I think that's a good idea, Summer.
Let me ask you, whenever you give them that option, do you do it like at the beginning of the group? Like when you post, like, you know, a week before you get everything set up, do you give them the option like when you talk about the free group, or do you give it the option like when you're getting everything ready that week? Do you know what I mean? Like in that group.
Excuse me. So I like to set up, if I'm planning well, which I typically go by the seat of my pants, but sometimes I plan well. I like to set up my event like a week and a half or so before the start date of the group, and I will start talking about it in the event page. That way, if people are interested, there's plenty of time to get them set up either with the sample pack or for me to mail them packets. And I keep talking about it, even you know, a day or two before the day of, and you know, people may be interested, and I'll say, hey, that's great, I've got packets I can send you, or we can set you up with this. It'll just take a little while to get to you. You may not get it for this free group type of thing, but you just want to make sure that they have enough time to get it, you know.
Okay.
So
okay, thank you so much.
Yeah. Is doing a free group the best type of group to do for your first time? Or Jennifer, excuse me. Hey, Casey.
Hey.
Oh man, I should have brought some water in here. It is, I mean, honestly, there's not a wrong first group to do. I mean, obviously, is this the training from Summer? Is that what it says? Yeah, obviously. So when Summer started, they didn't even have Shakeology, but they did start running Shakeology groups and things like that. So I think that's kind of how our team got established, was through Shakeology groups. I think it's a great first group to run. I think a free group is a great first group to run because, you know, there's no strings attached. There's no, most people will say yes to a free group. So it kind of gives you a little confidence, a little boost of, you know, like, okay, I can run a group. The first group I ran 2 weeks into coaching was a 30-day all challenge pack, everything. So, I mean, you can do whatever. There's not going to be a right or a wrong way, whatever you feel comfortable with. Sorry, I can't give you like a specific answer, but if you feel more comfortable just doing a free clean eating or free workout or free whatever group, go for it. If you want to do a Shakeology group, go for it. I say whatever you feel comfortable with is going to be what's right for you to run your first group. But Let's see. I feel like I'm getting out of breath just talking. Y'all, it's ridiculous. Okay. Any other questions I can answer about them? I am going to, I told you guys I'm making up for my kind of failed group last week. We're doing like a mason jar lunch group next week. And then in August, my plan is the first full week of August, I'm going to do like a freezer to crock pot or freezer to crock pot meal group. See, I don't even know. But because I need some freezer meals for when Knox is here. And so it's something that I'm actually going to do and be interested in because I need it. I have on my list of things I want to do. I want to do a Sean Week free group. Even though Sean Week has passed, but it's still on BOD. Just because hearing this other coach talk about it, she had amazing success with it. There was something else I wanted to do. I don't have my list in front of me. Maybe just a workout one. I don't know. I would probably in September do some type of Whole30 clean eating something group because I won't be working out yet. So that would be silly if I did a workout group then, but, so kind of stemming back to the very beginning, it's got to be something that you're interested in, something that you're going to want to do and add value to throughout the week. And if that's not clean eating, don't do clean eating because it will fail. It won't go over very well. I don't know. Casey, you have any questions since you just hopped on?
Sorry. No.
No, you can.
When are you gonna do what's his name? Chris? Are you gonna do like with Logan?
Yes. Yeah.
Or,
yeah. So you may have seen like Logan's event for Shift Shop. What we're going to do, and I encourage all of you to create an event. New programs are a great opportunity to get some new interest. That's on my list to do tonight after this call is to create my event. And what we're going to do is we're going to run it within our challenge group. And we're not creating a different group for it. We're putting them in the Good Vibes Tribe group. And we're going to, walk through that next week, kind of do like a prep week for them. Maybe we were just talking about this yesterday, but maybe suggest, trying out Sean Week for that first week, even though it might be a little challenging, if they are new, and looking at the meal plan, really getting prepared. And then we're going to start on the 24th. So I know that there's probably several people in that group that are in our challenge group that are going to start then as well. And so we figured we're just all going to do it together. And there's some people, like I know Tracy's going to be on her last week of P90X3, or maybe second to last, I can't remember. Yeah, but you're still going to be in the group. Like you're still going to be, you know what I mean? We didn't want to take everybody away and then bring them back. Like we've learned the hard way that spreading ourselves too thin between too many groups doesn't work. And so we're advertising it as hey, the group starts then, but really it's just, you're going to come be part of our family. And there's a group of us that are starting Shift Shop on this date and you're going to be a part of it type of thing. Does that make sense?
With that though,
yeah.
Do like the new challengers, they do the free 30-day trial, right?
No.
Or do they go ahead and buy into it?
It has to be the challenge pack because the free trial is only 14 days.
Okay.
Because On Demand switched to where everybody has all access now, whether you are paying quarterly or, half a year, whatever, whatever, or the whole year. And so the free trial now is only 14 days. And I think
When did that switch?
the 1st of June.
Oh,
Because
gosh.
people were able to complete a program in 30 days.
Yeah. Yeah. Because people could go in and they could complete the 3-week yoga retreat. They could do 21-day fix. They could do shift shop, you know, which is great. But at the same time, it's like, okay, let's get you.
Continue. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, so they would have to, you know, do the DVDs, or obviously I encourage the challenge pack, the on-demand challenge pack. And I can't remember. Can you guys remember if the 160 special is until August 1st, or is it through August?
Isn't it through August, I thought?
What I thought. I'm sure they'll talk about it at Summit. Yeah, I'm sure they'll. I'm wondering if they're going to kind of keep it. You know how 21 days.
I bet they want to capture like back to school.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I think it's through August, but obviously, because I'm not sure. I'm assuming Shift Shop is going to be a 160 challenge pack. I mean, why would you not? I don't know. It's beyond me when people just want the one program instead of the on demand. I get it though, if you don't have the internet, whatever, but.
So I can tell you when I do Shift Shop though, I'm not buying the utility markers.
You're not?
No.
Why? Because you can use burp rags or diapers?
I did the sneak peek and I used coasters.
Yeah.
My daughter has these wonderful Play Kitchen plates.
Mm-hmm. We have those. Yep.
They're going to work just perfect.
They will. Yeah. And that's another thing. If people ask if there's equipment involved, I probably won't say that that's required.
I probably wouldn't, because something this simple.
Oh yeah.
Because first I used the coasters and then I was like, well, if that ever fell through, I'll use paper plates.
Well, I've got these awesome diamonds on my rug and I just use like
when I did it
to the bottom of this.
I didn't use anything.
I use sticky notes.
Yeah.
And I saw these in my kids' play kitchen. And I was like, hey, you just happen to be playing with this in my bed right now.
Nice. All right. So I think we covered as much as we could on a free group. If you guys have questions about how to run them, or if you want to run one but you're a little unsure of where to get started, please post in the team page, or message me or your upline. We would be more than happy to get you pointed in the right direction, or get you set up with somebody who's also interested in starting one. And watch the recording somewhere. I know you and Casey kind of hopped in. I was already done.
I was just going to say, Summer's Team Courage site has a lot of like guides and shopping lists and
there's a ton of resources out there. It's not something if you do clean eating, it's not something that you have to create on your own. There's a lot of sources out there. I mean, I know Pinterest pretty much has it all. But anyway, so I encourage you guys to try free groups. They can be a little bit frustrating if you're not in the right mindset. Like I said, if you go in just thinking, I'm doing this because this is something I enjoy and I want to be able to post more about it to these people, I want to learn more about these people, you're good to go. If you go into it thinking, I'm going to hit Success Club from this free group, you're going to come out really discouraged and disappointed because your group's going to suck, probably because you're not in it for the right reasons, and you're not going to get those challenge pack sales from the free group right away. I'm just being honest. It will pay off down the line, but you're going to feel like that last day you're like, well, shoot, that was worth nothing. But I promise it is. It's building that trust. It's building those relationships. And the key of free groups is taking your cold market and turning it into your warm market. So that is the focus of it. And hopefully those people will start engaging more on your Facebook and Instagram and whatever, a whole lot more, which is also fun. So, all right, I am going to say that's a wrap